This is Margaret in Windsor, Peggy Ann Shoulders. I'm Victoria II, the legal heir, kidnapped in 41 from Buckingham Palace and brought to Moulton, Alabama, and given the name of a twin. Both twins were dead. They were murdered by their mother. I just finished that tape, and I want to finish about Bob Goodlatte. I've been in his office here, downtown Roanoke. He knows all about me. So does John Edwards, the Virginia senator. Well, I mean, over time, I'm almost 75. I was brought here when I was 2. You've got Sam Nunn from Atlanta, whose offices were by FBI headquarters there downtown. You've got John Sparkman, who was so much a part of, they put me off 40 miles from what became NASA in Huntsville. And you can get the drift. I mean, they take a Monarch there, and then not too long after then you get Werner von Braun brought in, and you get all kinds of perks for having a Monarch. It doesn't just the money that rolls in, it's research, treaties, and everything. But I raised the question about Goodlatte because he was over the Agriculture Committee here, or the Agriculture Committee, or he chaired it. That means that he's over the National Forest, the food stamp program. The National Forest itself consists of law enforcement, the rangers, etc., who's been a part of this mess when they run me to the Appalachian Trail, to live in the forest, to have a place to be, freeze, starve. That's rough if anybody's just hiked it deliberately for a short while, but to live there in all kind of weather with no camping equipment, and when I did, they come out and spray it and soak it and lock me up and bring me back down and threaten me and put me in jail. Yes, they have. So I have to question Bob Goodlatte. He's over the Judicial Committee now, which is pretty powerful, I understand. I would think so. So where do I stand? They're just going to keep on covering it up unless the British somehow can, or the Germans can expose it. Because Elizabeth doesn't have to answer questions. She doesn't have to answer to anybody. Maybe someday. So I want to go back, actually, when I found out and yes, I'm serious about it, since I came here to Roanoke with no money, couldn't get jobs, just shut down. I mean, they shut me down. I didn't know that I had an autoimmune disorder. Mine means that when I am come in contact, I mean like a light switch going off, that when I smell a industrial product or a household cleaner that is actually poison to me, my immune system reacts by attacking itself. And if someone thinks that's funny, it's death. It is horrible. The only way to stop it is you have to get away from what's causing it, which is the fumes, the vapors, the odor. And if that is deliberately put in your room and you're forced to stay in there, or in my case, they would even come in and soak my bedding. They would break through a lock or come in illegally, and that's assault with intent. It's a conspiracy because of who's telling them to do it. And they don't have to, they're not charged with any crime. In fact, I can't go anywhere to a cop and turn it over. They're the ones telling them. So anyway, it's hell. Huh? It's been dismissed, and nobody's going to do anything about it. I'll die, and, right now I can't move. The inflammation, all of it is just caused my lungs, my veins, my kidneys, my liver, my heart. You can have strokes, anything. I'm old now. I can hardly get around. So they've gotten away with it, really. But nobody ever told me I had this disorder. When I was brought over here, I married, and I know now he was CIA, and it was set up, already set up. But my husband was CIA. We married, and we were living in Huntsville, and I just had my sons, Mark and Scott, who are the legal heirs after me, and they were born 11 and a half months apart. Well, I went to a psychiatrist there, Hyman Miller, in Huntsville, back in this time span, and that's when the boom in Huntsville was on, and there weren't many doctors there. So Hyman Miller was there. I didn't know anything about being the monarch or kidnapped or Jewish treaties or U.S. treaties to put soil all over military bases all over British soil, and therefore use it as a launching pad to conquer the world. Just put your own monarch there, set her up and set him up, and let him have a blast. Wow, well, they killed me and my dad and mom that never got to bring me home. Nobody thinks about their feelings. Here, I'm not speaking of the British, but hey, over time, look at Great Britain. There's so many people there that have come in from other countries and flooded it, so there's hardly anything left of the British culture. And with this accent, you wouldn't think I'm British, but thank God an accent doesn't necessarily mean you're British or not British. It means I was kidnapped. I don't have access to my culture, money, nothing. Okay, is that the way I'm supposed to speak? I didn't get to go to college, Elizabeth, and all your brood. I was paying for this monster that you turned loose on me, working after school till 11 o'clock at night, walking 4 miles back to get blasted with her, get up in the morning and 6 o'clock, get ready for school, walk to work again. So that's what I was doing at that period of time. Now then, I have to make this quick. This is what was wrong with me. My immune system attacks itself, and it's really a good murder mechanism. If you can see that in your room, you can make your air conditioning a murder weapon. Any sprays when you have a illness like I have. Nobody ever told me I had that until I moved here. So I want to go back to, I started to tell in 61, 62. Went to Hyman Miller, the Jew, from New York, and his wife was a German Jew. And his anesthesiologist that put you to sleep to get the good electrodes hooked up and give your brain a baking. Shock. Okay, they were Jewish, her and her husband, Bert. So my husband took me to his office on Lowell Drive in Huntsville, sometimes once a week for a daily shock, or twice a week. And then I was hospitalized, which really you should give it the right definition. I was locked up illegally and tortured. There's not another word for it. I was given psychotic drugs for a non-existent illness, for the wrong illness, non-existent. It had nothing to do with psychiatry. It had to do with a Jew and this country torturing me and using me as a hostage and a joke. And on April the 1st of 80, after I'd done that book and got a letter from the FBI June the 23rd of 79, I was filled with antifreeze and should have died. And that was a fiasco there. I can't get an attorney to sue. I can't even use my real name. I mean, I've been shut down. And anyway, I've said that. So I want to go, while I was in Huntsville, well, John Kennedy, they make a deal out of this man, what happened to this country because he was assassinated with a bullet. Let me remind you that nobody gave a damn about me here in this country. It was a joke. I can't lay my brain out, and I haven't told you all on this video. I can't. It's been done to me. You can't take a brain out and say, hey, this had antifreeze put in it. This was bombarded with shock and psychotic drugs. It affects your relationship with your children, how they develop, to have a diagnosis of murder so that you can continue this lies and mistreatment of me and my children is hideous. So anyway, Gonzalez, the doctor, psychiatrist, who was in Parkland when Kennedy was taken, he was interning. He ended up at Redstone Army Hospital when I was there in 80, I guess 84, 85. He preceded me to Atlanta when my husband went to Atlanta. Gonzalez went too. Well, I know now it was all set up. But, so it was 7 more years of hell with this doctor doing the same thing as prior, shock, psychotic drugs, and other stuff. Also, it's where some patterns in these murders came in to be, and there was a seal put on that, by the way. So I have to ask anyone if they had any kind of illness. I don't know if you want to say cancer, if you want to say heart disease, anything. What if you went to a doctor or doctors and just for the hell of it, they diagnosed you with another illness that they knew was a lie just to torture you, gave you drugs that would really kill you, that weren't meant for you, that would ruin your life rather than saving it. You go to a doctor for them to help you. So stop and think about it. That's what I've lived with. And that's what's been on insurance papers. That's what's been used to torture. And you did a background check on me, it would be a total lie. I can't even use my name. So I don't know if I've gotten that across. I don't know what else I was going to say here. I suppose I'll think of it when I put down this camera, but guess that's about it. There are a number, I will say this, there are a number of other murders that happen here. I've put those in prior tapes. Morgan Harrington was one. She was a student at Blacksburg, and she was abducted at a Metallica concert back in '09. It's where she was found, up there on a farm, that really sets the, I mean, it's totally a pattern of mind control used in it. Her father was a psychiatrist, taught at Blacksburg, Virginia Tech, and he was over Carillion here in Roanoke. They're a prominent family, and I don't think they even want it told. They'd much rather pretend that this lone loony bird run off and did it. So, you know, people don't really want to know, okay? So I'm going to leave it at that. If there was something else I meant to say, then how would you like to be diagnosed with a murder sentence?